And it's Euros time, man. One of the most favorite times for me. Like every 4 years, this is the tournament I love to watch. I don't support any team. A lot of my friends are like, bro, come on Germany, bro, come on Portugal, oh, come on this, come on France, come on England. I'm like, come on, no one. I'm just come on the Euros because I just love sitting in my house with a cup of tea and watching brilliant football. That's it. That's it. And that's what I'm going to enjoy this Euros. I couldn't care less who wins. But it's time for my predictions. And prediction is in some ways my thing. Like I haven't published so many prediction videos on this channel, but I have genuine witnesses and evidences which prove that predictions are my thing. I have proofs and evidence and witnesses who will prove that World Cup 2018, I got my prediction absolutely right. Euro 2020, I got my prediction absolutely right. FIFA World Cup 2022, I got my prediction absolutely right. So this one is for me the fourth in a row. Now, honestly, I think I'm gonna get it wrong this time because there is no clear winner in my opinion. Like I cannot look at any team and go, man, they are the winners here. So I think this is the time where I might get it wrong, but it would be quite something to get my prediction right for the fourth time in a row. For the fourth time in a row. I'm not gonna do that whole screen sharing thing, then starting from the group stages, then choosing the best third place teams, and then coming to round of 16. I find it very boring, and I think it's very boring to watch someone choosing all the way through because some of the choices that I'll make in those group stages will be quite obvious. So I want to get straight into the favorites. Now I have five favorites. Now those five favorites are Portugal, England, France, Netherlands, who are my dark horses and underdogs, and Germany. Now we'll shortly analyze every single one of them before I actually announce my favorite. So the first one is Portugal. Now Portugal, honestly, almost every single one of these creators and analysts and fans out there have in their favorites. Everyone is like, this could be Portugal's year because they're playing very well, because they've got amazing players, because the Ronaldo X factor is there, the euphoria is there, the fan base is there, the support is there. And honestly, I see it. Like, it's not like I completely don't see it, but somewhere in my mind, I've put a lot of emphasis on gut feeling. Like, I'm a big Jurgen Klopp fan, as you all know. So, one of the most important things for me is actually also giving importance to gut feeling. Now, it's not all about just gut feeling. Of course, statistics and analysis and eye test matters a lot, but somewhere down the line, gut feeling has to be important. And with Portugal, my gut feeling is off. Like, I don't think they're going to do it. Roberto Martinez is a good coach, but I don't rate him that highly. I think he has not failed, but not delivered a lot of time in the past. And I think this is somewhere, again, again, not fail, but I don't think he'll deliver what most people think he could. And the squad is brilliant. João Felix, Rafael Leao, Diogo Jota, one of my favorite players. Bernardo Silva, probably my favorite player. Bruno Fernandes, João Palhinha, Ruben Neves, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course. In defense, they've got João Cancelo, Diaz, Pepe, Dalot, Nuno Mendes. It's a very, very good team. It's genuinely one of the best squad in terms of individual talents. But unfortunately, I don't have the gut feeling, and they're not in my top three. I'll come to my top three later. The next is England. Now, England is very typical. I'm a very big fan of the Indian cricket team, and England football team somewhere to me feels the same. Haven't won anything in a long time. Well, the Indian cricket team won something in the last 10 years. They haven't won for like ages. They haven't won for decades. But I think it's similar in terms of the pressure they have. There's just too much toxicity among the fans. Then there is too much expectations with the fans. And when it felt done at Wembley last time out, they just couldn't manage the game, and Italy just managed it and got the win. Of course, it was in penalties, so a bit unlucky for England, but I think there is just too much pressure on expectations. Now, the squad that Gareth Southgate has actually pushed out is brilliant. The kind of omissions that he has made in terms of Jack Grealish, in terms of Marcus Rashford, is really, really like not not shocking because somewhere down the line I expected Rashford to be omitted, but not Grealish. I thought Grealish was definitely going. Him not being in the squad, Rashford not being in the squad, Maguire not being in the squad. These are really, really surprising calls which we are not used to seeing from Gareth Southgate. And because he has made those calls now, it's somewhere a bit surprising and a bit shocking. The English squad is brilliant. I think the defense is a massive weakness. Like Kyle Walker is and John Stones are two definitely starting defenders in the back four. But even if they go with the back five, if they go with the back four, left back is a massive weakness. Goalkeeper, Dean Henderson, Aaron Ramsdale, Jordan Pickford, they haven't got a goalkeeper that is convincing. So goalkeeper, left back, second centre back, third centre back. I think these are massive, massive weaknesses in the English side, which is why I think they won't do it. And also, they don't have a typical number six, which I think every other team has, which is also a big miss. Now, Declan Rice can do it, I know, but I still think that's a miss. And then, as I always say, the pressure of expectations, the weight of expectations, the toxicity that the Premier League fan bases bring in, I think all of this will combine and wouldn't let England win. And somewhere, I'm not a big Gareth Southgate hater, but I think somewhere his tactical limitations are going to cost England massively. Now let's move on to the next team. It's France. France are in my top three, just to be honest here. France are in my top three. Uh, because they've got a brilliant squad. And just like England, they have a very, very good, very, very talented, very, very dangerous players. But what they have is a brilliant defense. They have got Ferland Mendy, they've got Jules Koundé, they've got William Saliba, they've got Ibrahim Konate, Upamecano, and Pavard. Like these group of defenders are simply brilliant. Even the goalkeeper, of course, there isn't Hugo Lloris isn't there anymore. So Areola could start, Maignan could start. Now Maignan might start a lot of well, some of my friends are really big Milan fans, and they actually always tell me that he's a brilliant goalkeeper. But I go with France in my top three. The only reason is because it's a bit like England. They've got a very, very talented squad, but their defense is a lot better than England, not just individually, but also as a unit. They are very, very stronger than England in terms of the defensive side of it. The next one is my underdogs. My dark horses for this tournament. Everyone is taking name of like Turkey. Some are using Portugal as dark horses, which is crazy because I don't look at them as dark horses. I look at them as one of the big nations as far as football is concerned. So Netherlands are my pick for this dark horse or underdog, what you want to call it, because when I look at that team, one thing that we are never that we're always sure about and we never doubt is the way they're gonna play. We know the Dutch players are coached since their childhood in a certain way to play in a certain way, to execute and enjoy football in a certain way. So we know how they're going to play. Their coach is Ronald Koeman. We know how they're going to line up. We know how they're going to play. We know the sticky taka that they're going to play. And by the way, it suits all of their players. Why they are my underdogs? Because first of all, I don't. It's not like I rate Ronald Koeman very very highly, but I at the same time do not underrate him like a lot of people out there do. Now they have got one of the best defensive lineup in the whole tournament. Virgil van Dijk, Matthias de Ligt, Nathan Ake, Ian Matson, Stephen De Vrij, Mickey van de Ven. Like these are serious, serious defenders we are talking about. These, I won't be surprised if Netherlands go throughout the group stages without conceding a single goal because that's how good their defense is. If they play a back three of Van Dijk, De Ligt, and Van de Ven, or Van Dijk, Van de Ven, and Ake, or Van Dijk, De Ligt, and Ake, whatever combination you put out, you've got a left-footed centre back, which is great to just play out from the back. It gives you a completely different dimension. You have Van Dijk there who can do literally everything, and you've got De Ligt who can also arguably do literally everything. Ian Matson, who was in the Champions League final, a very adaptable, high IQ, very tactically sound, technically sound player. Stephen De Vrij, another brilliantly experienced defender, and Daley Blind with his experience there and his left foot as well. In the fullbacks, we have got people like Jeremy Frimpong as a wing back. Then we have got Denzel Dumfries. Like, I don't think enough people are looking at Netherlands. Honestly, I think a lot of people are just overlooking them because they haven't won a trophy in a long time. They are known as chokers because they never win a World Cup trophy. Whilst all of that is factually true, you also need to understand that they have got brilliant players, they've got a very good manager, and they've got players who are adaptable, who are high IQ, like Ian Matson, like Virgil van Dijk, like Daley Blind, like Cody Gakpo. Let's not forget Cody Gakpo. He had a very good end to the season with Liverpool. He can play on the left wing, on the right wing, through the middle, as a false nine, as a number 10, because he's adaptable, he's smart, he's brilliant, he's malleable. And being malleable in a cup tournament is one of the best skills to have and one of the best weapons to have as a manager. Now that's enough for Netherlands. They're not my favorites. I spoke about them as if they were my favorites. They're not my favorites, but they are my underdogs or dark horses. I'm always confused between these two terms. The next one and the last one is Germany, the host of the tournament. Now, I'm always scared of the Germans in an international conversation because although they have done really poorly in the last two World Cups, going out in groups and haven't done well at all, losing to England in the round of 16 in the last Euros was not good enough. We all remember that one-on-one Thomas Muller miss. This time, a lot of people don't have them in the top three or four favorites because generally everywhere I'm listening to, every podcast I'm listening to, everyone I'm talking to, the favorites basically for everyone are France, England, Portugal, France, England, Portugal, France, England, Portugal. Very few people really have Germany in there. Now, to spoil it, I do. I see Germany as a very strong team because of their manager and then the players they've got. So they've got Florian Wirtz, who can play as a number 10, who can play on the wings if needed, who is a perfect second striker. Then they've got Nicholas Fulkrug. If you're starting with a false nine, then you want someone to absolutely destroy the opposition defense physically. You've got Fulkrug. Sorry. You've got Kai Havertz, who has had a great season with Arsenal. He's very malleable. Wirtz is very malleable. Fulkrug is there as an impact player. If you want to start him, you can start him. You want to bring him off the bench, you can bring him off the bench. There are just so many tools. Then you look at the midfield, and this is a brilliant midfield. Toni Kroos, Ilkay Gundogan, Musiala, Thomas Muller, Emre Can, Joshua Kimmich, and Andrik. Andrik is a proper number six with physical attributes, which complement perfectly to the attributes that people like Gundogan, Kimmich, and Kroos possess. So they have got balance. Pascal Gross is there. Let's not forget how good and how brilliant and how malleable and how adaptable Pascal Gross is. He is absolutely brilliant. Then we look at the defense. One of my favorite defenders is Nico Schlotterbeck. I absolutely love him. In my last video where I spoke about the best 11 that Germany could put out, Schlotterbeck was my pick to start as the left centre back, along with people like Rudiger, people like Jonathan Tah. They have got a really good squad. And what Germans have is heritage. What Germans have is a fear factor because they are the host and because they're the Germans. A lot of people call them the semi-final specialists because they always get to the semi-final. They're just always there. Now, as we have discussed all the teams and all the countries, I should now move on to my top three. Now, by top three, I mean my three favorites because I'm sure that one of these three is going to win. Now, of course, there's a big chance because I'm leaving two big nations out that they actually end up winning it, and I absolutely end up getting proven wrong. But I'll still choose the three which I think are the right three, and I think are the fair three. The third favorite, in my opinion, the third favorite is Netherlands. I know that's a big shout. I know that's a massive shout to put Netherlands ahead of some really big countries that I'm not going to include in my top three. But I see them as a very, very solid unit. I see them as a group of players who have been taught the same style of football since their childhood. So they have great chemistry. They know how to play. And they have still got people like Wout Weghorst and Dalian Malen. You want to change the game. Don't forget the World Cup semi-final against Argentina. Netherlands was playing their own football, but they were 2-0 down. They said, okay, scrape it. Let's go along. Forget about all of this tiki-taka football. Let's adapt and let's go along. They scored 2 goals. Wout Weghorst and Luke de Jong changed that game, and Weghorst is still there. So it does matter a lot that if you've got adaptable and malleable players, and you've got players who can play different styles of football. But what we have with Netherlands is, I think, a very good group of young players who want to prove themselves, and a manager, let's not forget, who has been treated very badly by Barcelona fans, by generally football fans. And I think that he will love to prove a lot of people wrong. Now, I don't think proving wrong just means winning. Proving wrong also means getting to the latter stages and playing in a way that actually looks really dangerous and looks and is threatening for other teams. So that's why Netherlands are my third favorite for this tournament. My second favorite. I have been absolutely confused. I'm so confused between my first two favorites, but I have to pick someone. So my second favorite is France. Now, France, the reason I've said it already, I think World Cup final, winning the final. I think Euros, it was quarter final last time out when they lost to Switzerland on penalties, if I'm not wrong. World Cup again, final again. A brilliant performance, a brilliant comeback performance, twice coming back twice in the final, then losing on penalties, which is never fair, but it's just unlucky. Losing on penalties in the final, having someone like Mbappe, having someone like Ousmane Dembele, having someone like Thuram, having the experience, the flair, the creativity of Antoine Griezmann, having the midfield like N'Golo Conte and Chouameni and Camavinga. What they haven't got, man. And it's a very, very young squad as well. Then you look at the defense, I've spoken about it already. They've got William Saliba, who's probably not even going to start. Like William Saliba, you have William Saliba, and he's probably not going to start because of Upamecano. I completely disagree with that. But that's a completely different conversation. Saliba, Upamecano, Konate, Mendy, Jules Kounde, Benjamin Pavard. This is serious. Like the kind of talent. Theo Hernandez, his brother Lucas Hernandez might not be in the squad, but he's brilliant. I don't see any weakness in this French team. Giroud up front, it's always there, isn't he? I don't see any weaknesses, but still I've put them second. While explaining, I'm a bit like, oh, did I make a mistake putting them second? But I have now done it, so I'm going to stick by it. The French, the French are second favorites to win it. My first favorites, now the remaining countries are Portugal, England, and Germany. My first favorites to win the Euros, the team who is going to win European Championships 2024 is Germany. Germany are my pick to win the Euros that are starting tonight. I know it's a risky prediction. I know it's a prediction that no one has probably gone with because people are generally siding towards England, France, and Portugal for really good reasons. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I see it Germany. I see Germany because they've got a manager who is aggressive, they've got a manager who is adaptable, they've got a manager who wants to prove himself after what happened last time out at Bayern Munich. He has got a squad that I think he'll use very well. He has got players that he can adapt. He's got malleable players. And it's hard to explain a lot of the things why I've picked them. Because of course, man for man, and if you do a combined 11 and if you do a individual squad comparison, maybe their squad isn't as gifted, naturally gifted as the English squad and the French squad. But I always say this, that the best team doesn't always win. Just having the best players doesn't mean you're going to win. And that's been proven in every single Euros and every single World Cup. Just because having the best team and the most gifted players, that doesn't mean you're going to win. You need to have more than that. You need to have a manager who is tactically sound, which Didier Deschamps is, which Gareth Southgate is. But I also think both of them are a bit limited when it comes to the clutch moments. Now, that's maybe unfair on Deschamps because what he has achieved, but probably fair on Southgate. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I wanted a video to go out on my channel regarding the predictions. And I'll say it again because I'm very proud of it. I got the prediction right in 2018 World Cup. I got it right in Euros 2020. And I got it right in World Cup 2022 again. So it was a hat trick, which is great. I would love if it goes 4th time in a row, which I don't think it will because it's this time it's probably the hardest to pick a team. But my pick is Germany, who I think will win the Euros. My second favorites are France, and my third favorites are Netherlands. I've completely left out England and Portugal. I know how serious that is. I know how criminal that could be if they end up winning it because they've got the talent. I do see it the way I see it. And that is Germany first as the first favorites to win it, France second, Netherlands third. Let me know your thoughts in the comment because this time I really want to know your thoughts and what do you think. But that's pretty much it from my side. I'll see you soon because I'm going to do a video on England's best 11 since no one knows about it. I mean, Wayne Rooney is speaking about it, Gary Neville is speaking about it, and everyone is speaking about how Trent is so bad in the midfield, which is absolutely like bullshit of an opinion. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a terrible, terrible opinion to have. So I'm going to make a video on what is England's best 11 and not only that, but what are the best tactics that they could use to approach big games. With that, I take your leave for this video. These are my predictions and I hope I go right. And Germans will be very happy if I go right. And one of my friend is a big Germany fan, so he'll be very happy if I go right. So let's see what happens. Thank you. Goodbye.